She screamed from exhaustion outside a daycare, not knowing that her cry would be heard by the man who would become her home. Scarlett is 29, a single mother, 2 jobs, a little boy named Leo. She was left the moment she shared the news of her pregnancy, and since then she's learned how to survive, for her child. A flat tire, a chance encounter, and a man who didn't rush, didn't run, and didn't promise too much, he simply stayed. This is a story about a love that arrives quietly. About a child who learns to trust and says, "He's mine." About a man who chooses not just the woman, but her son. Sometimes real love doesn't come to save you loudly. It just stays.
Love Stories Max. Welcome to my channel. Enjoy watching, friends.
He stayed. My name is Scarlett. I'm 29, and I learned how to be strong much earlier than I ever wanted to. When I told the man I loved that I was pregnant, he looked out the window in silence. Then he left, no shouting, no explanations, as if I had told him something ordinary, not about our future, but about the weather. I remember sitting on the kitchen floor afterward, holding my stomach, still completely flat, whispering, "We'll be okay. You and me." And we were. My mom stayed close. My older sister taught me not to be ashamed to ask for help. And Leo became my heart, running on tiny legs, laughing even when I was barely holding myself together. I worked 2 jobs, mornings at a coffee shop, evenings as an administrator at a small fitness club. Life turned into timers, lists, rushed kisses on the cheek, and the same question every day. "Mom, will you make it?" Of course, sweetheart. That day, I wasn't making it. I was exhausted in a way that made even music feel irritating. My hands shook from too much coffee and not enough sleep. I pulled up to the daycare, turned off the engine, and heard a strange sound. A hiss. "No," I whispered. I stepped out of the car. The tire was completely flat. And then I did something I never allowed myself to do. I yelled, not at anyone, just into the empty air. Short, tired, full of pain. "Damn it, are you okay?" a voice asked behind me. I turned around. He was standing a few steps away. Taller than me, with a touch of gray at his temples. A simple shirt with the sleeves rolled up. And in his eyes, not curiosity, but calm. "My tire," I said stupidly, as if he couldn't already see it. "I see. Let's take a look," he replied, like it was the simplest thing in the world. He crouched down to inspect the tire, and I stood there feeling the tension slowly leave my shoulders. "I'm Brian," he said without looking up. "Scarlett." He smiled, softly. "Nothing extra. You've got a spare. It'll be okay." For some reason, I believed him instantly. While he was changing the tire, I told him I was in a rush to pick up my son. I don't know why. I just said it. "How old is he?" "4. Leo." "That's a strong name," Brian said. A few minutes later, the daycare door opened and Leo ran out. Jacket half-zipped, backpack almost bigger than he was. "Mom, I'm here," I said, kneeling to hug him. Leo looked at Brian seriously. like a tiny adult. "Who are you?" Brian crouched down so they were eye level. "I'm someone who's helping your mom." Leo nodded. "Okay." And something tightened in my chest. Not fear. Warmth. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. "Thank you," I said as we were about to leave. "Anytime, Scarlett." He hesitated for a moment. "Can I call you? Just to make sure you get home safe." I nodded. On the drive home, I caught myself smiling. For no reason, Leo fell asleep in his car seat. And for the first time in a long while, I thought, maybe the world isn't only about exhaustion and survival. Maybe sometimes it's about someone hearing your scream and simply walking over. I didn't know yet that that flat tire would become the beginning of a story where I wouldn't be alone anymore. He didn't text right away. 2 days later. "Hi, Scarlett. It's Brian. I just wanted to ask how your tire is, and how you are." I stared at the message for a long moment. Not because I didn't want to reply, but because it scared me how nice it felt. "Everything's fine. Thank you for asking," I wrote back. A few minutes later, he replied, "I'd really like to invite you for coffee." No rush. If you're okay with that. No rush. Those words stayed with me. We chose a small cafe near the park. I arrived early, habit. Sat by the window, holding my tea, thinking that I'd probably forgotten how to go on dates. My life had been about what I had to do, not what I wanted. He walked in quietly, saw me right away, smiled, the same calm smile from the parking lot. Hi. We didn't rush into conversation. Didn't try to impress each other. He ordered coffee. I ordered another tea. The silence between us felt safe. "How's Leo?" he asked. And again, that warm feeling inside me. "He's good. He's with my mom tonight. For the first time in a long while, I'm just here." "You look tired," Brian said gently. "I know," I smiled. "But this is a good kind of tired." We talked about little things. Music, his love for morning walks, the way I sometimes fall asleep without taking my coat off. At one point he said, "You're very strong." "I don't always want to be strong," I admitted. He didn't argue. "You don't have to be." "Not with me." We left the cafe and walked slowly through the park. Leaves rustled under our feet. I realized I wasn't checking the time. "Thank you for tonight," I said. "I'm really glad you came," he replied. "I don't want to rush anything." He didn't touch me, just looked at me, like he was asking permission, even with his eyes. And I understood. This date wasn't about romance or gestures. It was about safety. As we said goodbye, he said, "I'd like to see you again. But only if you want to." I nodded. "I do." And that night, for the first time in a long time, I fell asleep thinking that my heart, slowly, very carefully, was opening again. We went to the river on a Sunday morning. I hesitated for a long time before agreeing. This was more than just a picnic. It was my world, and my son. Leo sat in the back seat, holding his stuffed lion. He watched Brian with curiosity but stayed quiet. Brian didn't rush. He knew. Some doors only open when you don't push. We spread a blanket near the water. The river was calm and clear, sunlight touching its surface like a soft whisper. Brian pulled out a small fishing rod. "Want to try?" he asked Leo, not leaning over him, not forcing anything. Leo looked at me. I nodded. "Okay," Leo said seriously. Brian crouched beside him, explaining everything slowly. "See? We don't rush. Fish can feel that." Leo held the rod with both hands. His lips were pressed together. He was concentrating so hard. I held my breath. And then, "Mom!" he shouted. "It's moving." A tiny fish flashed in the sunlight. So small. Leo stared at it with wide eyes. "It's alive," he whispered. "It is," Brian smiled. "And now we do the most important part." He gently took the fish with wet hands, showing Leo every movement. "We thank it, and we let it go." Leo leaned closer, dipped his fingers into the water. "Go swim," he said softly. The fish disappeared into the river. Leo turned to Brian. "You're good," he said simply. My heart tightened. I understood then. Trust isn't built with words. It's built by how you hold something small and alive in your hands. Brian looked at me, like he was asking permission to stay. I smiled. That day, Leo fell asleep in the car, still holding the empty fishing rod. And I knew, my son had just let someone into his world. And so had I. It happened unexpectedly, not during a big moment, not with speeches, just, at home. Leo was sitting on the living room floor, building a city out of blocks. Brian was beside him, quietly helping, sliding the right pieces closer. I was making dinner, watching from the corner of my eye, afraid to breathe too loudly. "This is the bridge," Leo said. "Good idea," Brian replied. "Who lives here?" Leo thought for a moment, then suddenly looked up and told a little girl from daycare who had stopped by with her mom. "That's Brian. He's mine." Time stopped. I turned around. Brian froze. He didn't smile, didn't joke. He just swallowed. "Mine?" he asked softly. Leo nodded. "Yes. You're my grown-up." Brian dropped to his knees and gently, carefully hugged Leo. "Thank you," he whispered. "That means everything." I stepped away to the window so he wouldn't see my tears. In that moment, I knew, my son had chosen. And his heart had chosen right. Brian never did things loudly. He never rushed. That evening, we were back by the same river. Leo was sleeping at my mom's. For the first time in a long while, I was just a woman again, not only a mother. The sun was setting, the water shimmering like it had on our first picnic. "Scarlett," Brian said, "I've thought a long time about how to do this right." I already knew. He didn't get down on one knee right away. First, he took my hands. "I came into your life carefully. Because I knew, you're not someone you love halfway." He looked into my eyes. "I love you. And I love Leo. Not as an extension of you, but as my own." My breath caught. Then he went down on one knee. "I can't promise a perfect life. But I promise to be here. Always. Scarlett, will you marry me?" I don't even remember how I said yes. I only remember holding him and thinking. Sometimes love doesn't arrive loudly. It just stays. Our wedding was small. No noise. No show. Only the people who knew our story by heart. We got married by the river. The same one where Leo first held a fishing rod, and where I first felt peace beside Brian. The morning was quiet. The air smelled like water and grass. The sun touched my skin gently, like a blessing. I stood barefoot on the grass in a simple, almost weightless dress. My mom adjusted my hair. My sister squeezed my hand and whispered, "You deserve this." Leo ran around in his little suit, stopping every now and then to look at me. "Mom, you're beautiful." Each time, I laughed and cried at the same time. When I saw Brian, the world narrowed to his eyes. He stood steady, but I knew he was just as nervous as I was. In his gaze was everything: patience, choice, love. We didn't make loud vows. We spoke softly, honestly. "I choose you every day," he said. "And I choose you," I replied. When we exchanged rings, Leo stepped closer and took our hands. "Now we're a family," he said seriously. And those were the truest words of the day. We laughed, hugged, shared simple food, and watched the sun set over the water. No fireworks, no music louder than our hearts. Just love, quiet and strong. That evening, Brian wrapped his arms around me and whispered, "Thank you for letting me into your world." I leaned into him and thought, this isn't a fairy tale. It's better. It's home.